Hi and welcome back to the Cortina build. I am Jim and you will notice that I'm not in the garage. Reason for that is I completely forgot to film the intro. I just got in with starting some work from the last episode. So I'm going to jump back a few weeks and show you the windscreen. But before I do, just want to say hope you're all doing well, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Back to the past. So the windscreen's in, it looks pretty good, giving it a clean. Didn't seem to take too long, it did a good job, it certainly looks that way. But the next bit, obviously now I've got a windscreen, need to do windscreen wipers. So I've given them a clean, let's put them on and see if we can get them working. So the wipers are on, battery's charged, let's give it a try. Success. One thing I also forgot to talk about was the rear trim for the window. Now when I fit the window in the last episode, the rear screen, I actually put the glass in the rubber in the car, and then intended on doing the trim afterwards. Now I've done the trim, and it wasn't that bad. It took me a while to get my head around how to actually, get the rubber split move in and put in, but water was better than silicone lubricant, so definitely try that. I found with the silicone spray is that it made it too slippery and it just made it difficult to hold. And also watch your hands, because I actually sliced my palm trying to get that straight one in. But anyway, me putting some trim in. So I've had to take the lid off the steering box because it was leaking quite badly. Now I've got a plan for that and I'm going to come back to that later. But first off, I need to sort out this, and that is the filler plug. Now the original was made of rubber, which was disintegrated years ago. I remember it coming off in my hand actually. Now to buy another one, I'd have to spend 70-ish quid, I think, on a rebuild kit, which I don't need. I'm not doing that, can't buy them on their own, so I'm going to turn a new one out of this. I've got some T6 aluminium, I'm going to make a new plug. And I've got some O-rings as well, but more importantly, this is the first proper job for the lathe, so I'm quite excited. Now obviously lathe safety is a must. No long hair to worry about, and I'm ever so sorry, I've got to take the jewellery off too. And get the old specs on. Oh, surprisingly look intelligent with glasses on. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Let's see if it's true. So now I've got that bit turned that's going to go in the plate. Just got to turn the handle for it, and what I'm going to do is drill this and tap it so I can tether it to the actual plate, so it doesn't, if it does pop out or I need to take it out, I'm not going to lose it. It's quite easy to drop these on the floor once I've finished my cup of tea, obviously. So now I've done the bung, I've just cut some gaskets up out of some fresh gasket paper because figured, well, why not, just be on the safe side. So that's all done, and now I can go on with putting it all back together. Now something I have bought is this, which is a Penrite steering box lube. Now it's designed for these steering boxes, but instead of it being oil, as in the same, because I think it uses the same oil as the diff, it's actually a grease. There you go. It's designed, like I say, it's designed for steering boxes, Berman steering box as well, but the benefit of it being a grease rather than it being an oil is that it's a lot thicker and less viscous than the diff oil, and it's designed for boxes which are prone to leaking, which, being on a Ford, is, well, anything leaks really. So I'm going to give it a try. So first off, it'll be greasing the box, gaskets, and all that assembly, and that should be it. So let's do it. So I've got one under the diff. Unfortunately, there's only one gasket, but unfortunately, to get to it, we need to pull the diff out, which means we've now got to do the drive shafts. So I've got to take the drums off. Excuse me. Got to take the drums off. Got to do the backing plates, pull the shafts out, get the diff out, do the gasket, put it all back together. So I've got the shafts out, and I don't know why, but the driver's side is like trying to pull a sailor off your sister. It does not want to leave. And this one pull and it comes. Hang on, that didn't sound right. Better carry on. So it's been a couple of days since I did the rear diff, and so far no leaks, which is great. One thing I did notice when I was going back over the footage though is that I accidentally kicked over the camera again, typical. But actually the main reason for me doing stuff on the rear axle was because I wanted to fit the handbrake rod and the handbrake cable, because now I have fitted one of my favourite parts of this car. I absolutely love this, and that is the handbrake. So the handbrake basically works like a game of mousetrap. You pull this rod, which then has a cable attached, which pulls another rod, which pulls a cable, which pulls another rod on the axle, and then your handbrake almost works. It's great fun. So like I say, it's one of my favourite parts of the car. One thing I need to start looking at though is the starter motor. Had a bit of a problem with it. Doesn't seem to be turning very well, even though I've got charge. Earth seems okay, so I think I'm going to take it off and have a look at it. So the starter motor checked out. We've had it apart, checked the resistance in it. Everything seems to be okay. But when I've put it back on the engine, it seems to hit the flywheel. Something's not right. It's certainly not spinning the engine. So it's trying to throw out, but it's not doing anything. So the only thing I can put it on is that the bearings are out. So what I've done is I've ordered a new starter motor, which should be here in a few days. Starter's back in and turning over as it should be. I've got some issues though. So one thing I found is that I'm not getting a consistent 12 volts at the coil, which is strange. But also I'm getting some random lives, like the coolant, the radiator fan came on randomly, which it shouldn't have done because there wasn't even, the ignition wasn't even on. But also the fuel pump isn't working the way it should do. So it's pumping the way it should, but it's the wiring that's, so I think I've got a random issue with live feeds, which I can sort, but I think, quite honestly, it might be a bigger job than just plugging stuff in. It might be a case that I need to readdress some of the dash wiring. Okay. Anyway, the other thing I did find was that I'm not getting equal fuel to the 4 plugs. I was checking whether I was getting fuel because I thought I'd flooded it. Now, 1, 2 and 3 have a tiny amount of fuel. 4 has quite a bit on the spark plug, that is. So it looks like I've got a vacuum leak, and there's only 2 places it can leak, and that is the carb to the manifold to the block, to the head. So those 2 gaskets I think I'm going to replace, just as a matter of caution. I think it's probably more the head than anything else, because clearly fuel's getting through the manifold. But I shall leave that for another day. I've got plenty to be getting on with, but I hope you've enjoyed what I've done. I'm going to try and be a bit, try and produce these a bit sooner, be a bit more consistent with my videos. But I hope you're enjoying it, and please get in touch, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.